guys, today I am going to try out the WeLoveColors color pills. Now these pills are filled with powder form acid dyes, and you can actually break them open and mix them to get very specific colors. This is all in preparation for eventually dyeing their second skin catsuit, which is actually a full body suit with virtually no seams except for the fingertips and the tips on the now individual toes. I needed this very specific medium to light green shade for my cosplay of Disgust from Inside Out. And unfortunately, the nature of a small business is that you can only offer so many options. So the colors that they had did not really match the shade that I wanted. But that's okay, because being a cosplayer is all about DIY. Now just a heads up, this process takes a lot more chemistry and math than you'd expect. But don't worry, I did all the work so you don't have to. They have 7 different color options to choose from, and I bought neon yellow, neon pink, and turquoise. These were the closest to CMYK that WeLoveColors offered. These colors are also the cooler toned variants of these colors, which for my shade of green, I thought was good, because I wanted a more yellowy green as opposed to maybe an emerald, something that is more the color of the tights of Disgust than the skin of Disgust. So spoiler alert, I'm about to do a bunch of math that in the end of the day did not actually matter, because these dyes are just way too powerful for the power of math to make any sense, which is a great thing if you're trying to be economical with dye, but not so much of a great thing if you were trying to get things right on the first try. So this really does take a lot of trial and error. It's just so hard to get the right shade the first time around. Here I used the color picker on my computer to figure out the actual percentages that I needed. I did a bit of assumption to think that the RGB that they were giving, the red, royal blue, and yellow they were giving, would be a similar vibrancy to the colors that I picked. So here's all my math. So after filming this video, I realized that the exact amount that I calculated doesn't really matter, but the proportions do. So you will still use the ratios from this 100% value and the percent the color picker gives you, but the amount that you put in is probably better to start pretty low and then work your way up. So here is all of the numbers explaining that, and let's get on with the video. So just for a quick safety reminder, this dye is not safe for children or ingestion, so please protect yourselves. I chose to use some gloves, a mask so that I don't breathe in the dye, and then I just put on my glasses. Ideally, you should wear safety glasses, but in my house, this is all I have right now. So I'm using this scale from Amazon. It was about $8 at the time that I bought it. Here I emptied out 2 grams of yellow dye into the cup, and I'm just using a plastic spoon to put some of the dye back into the pill so that I can just conserve it to get the exact measurement that I want. And now I will open the turquoise pill and pour about half into the cup. And then again, I'm going to use my spoon to scoop up the powder that I don't want to use until it is exactly 0.42 grams of turquoise. And then I reclose the pill. And now when we get to the dyeing, if you're ever dyeing anything in a boiling pot of water, you should never use that pot for food again. I have a stew pot that I got from Walmart a few years ago for $20, and this does a decent amount of fabric at a time. With the heat on medium-high, I added the powder to the bath and stirred until the powder dissolved and the water simmers. So if you have a whisk, this would be a good time to use it, because any little grains of dye powder will bunch up and make your dye drop patchy. So I just add my tights in. The instructions say bring it to a boil and boil it for 30 minutes. But when I tell you that this dye took instantly, I mean instantly. It took about 10 seconds for the color to lock in and give me this beautiful, vibrant, completely green color. The color that I wanted was a little bit lighter and also a little bit warmer than the color that I was getting. I made the premature decision to take it out and think maybe the color will rinse out because it hasn't been there for that long. And then I rinsed it out, and unlike some other commercial synthetic dyes that you might use, this washed out immediately. The water ran clear as soon as I started rinsing it, and it didn't stain anything. If I put this in the dryer, I'm certain that it wouldn't stain my dryer like other dyes. I was just blown away, and I am not being paid to say this. The only thing that they gave me so graciously was the tights to test this with. I ended up pouring out half of this dye solution and replacing it with just water, and then putting some more vinegar inside just to see if I could get a lighter color. And to my absolute shocking surprise, I did not get a lighter color. It was just as vibrant as it was the first time. And at this point, I'm wondering if I should pour out just basically the whole thing. I ended up pouring out the water solution until it reached about like maybe 1 or 2 inches off the bottom of the pot, and then filled the rest up with water. I put the tights in, and the dye didn't take it first because the water was a little bit cool. But once that water reached temperature, it was as bright as it possibly could have been, immediately. So at this point, I don't want to use another pair of tights because I'm scared. I'm scared to waste my testing tights. So that was the last test that I did today. These are the 3 tights that I ended up dyeing today. The neon really stayed. You can't really catch it on camera. You can see the slight differences in darknesses. Here's me testing my foundation mix with the lightest tights that I dyed today. So my overall review on these dyes is that they're great. They give you a great amount of value for what you pay for. The saturation is amazing. They take instantly and they rinse out pretty fast. And the color is pretty true. They don't change too much in tone between when they dry and when they're wet. So you pretty much know what you're getting right out of the dye bath. I highly recommend these dyes for any fabric synthetics like fur, even wigs. If you want to try using these at home, please use proper safety and use my mistakes to make your experience better. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!